stop now. It's a recommended upgrade. It's not an emergency, and they are small portions of the roof, so they wouldn't be getting a lot of water runoff. But it could use a gutter, so I have it in my report. So if you look up here, the very corner, you can see the lines on the wood trim up there and the poke hole. So a little bit more moisture damage up there under the eave. And all this stuff that I point out is going to be in the pest report.
Okay. Do you recommend the cover on this outlet as well?
Oh yes, yeah, that was the one I was talking about. That should also have a cover.
Okay.
The gas meter here with the main gas shutoff, being this knob here, when that's in line with the plumbing, that means it's on. Shutting it off is turning it till it goes across the plumbing. And we recommend having a pair of pliers that you keep somewhere in the house or tied to the meter itself, so you always know where to go in case you have to shut it off. And they make a special tool wrench that you can buy at any hardware store as well. That fits right over the top of it. And electrical panel, because I can't see
No combo.
anything. Yeah, exactly. Because I can't see inside. That is something I recommend having further evaluated. But once you guys get the combo, I can cut out and check it all out. So here behind you, the siding, you can see the poke holes there. It's all moisture damage, dry rot. Same up here, you can see poke holes just above this horizontal wood trim, and then some of the wood trim as well.
That's what you did to show where it is?
Right, it's a standard field test, because you shouldn't be able to poke through wood, but like this, just goes right in. So it's a common field test. Window up here is missing a screen. Just that one there. There's some more dry rot here to the door jamb. And that one there. Air conditioner is original to the house, so 25 years old.
Yeah.
It's older. Typical service lifespan on these, manufacturers say about 12 to 15 years. However, we see them last upwards of 30 years all the time. Obviously, this one's a testament to that. And it is running fine. I'm getting a good temperature split on the inside. But I will have in my report to budget for repairs or replacement because it won't last indefinitely. Let's see. So this outlet here is on a GFCI reset. It's the kind of outlet with the two buttons on it. And so if that outlet's not working, check the kitchen outlets. Their resets, if that one's not working, it would reset in the kitchen.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Sliding glass door is missing the outer pane of glass. Here, you can see it's
I didn't realize that.
Neither did I.
Huh. Good observation there.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here. This outlet currently isn't GFCI protected, so that's something that we recommend upgrading to. GFCI stands for Ground Fault Circuit Interrupter, and it detects fault going to ground, which would typically be you, and shuts it off before you can get shocked. Typically you want it anywhere where you're going to come into contact with water while using something plugged into the outlet. So it's outlet themselves, they're about 10, 15 bucks a piece. We recommend a licensed electrician install it though for liability purposes, and I don't know your guys' skill set.
Sure,
so.
we should.
And that's probably a sprinkler timer for the back, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I
Sprinkler or lights, more than likely sprinklers though.
Okay.
These are your testing again?
Yeah, poke holes
Yeah.
there. Poke holes along here. So again, it's something you're gonna see on a house with wood siding over time.
25 years old.
Exactly, yeah. Over time, it's gonna happen. I'll head back around this way.
Yeah, it's just very normal. That's why when we see wood siding, we know there's dry rot.
It's gonna be there.
Yeah. Depends on how much.
So, GFCI resets in the garage right there. And then that one there. And that one there resets the upstairs bathroom outlets.
Oh.
So if those aren't working, check there.
Check here.
Yeah. Furnace, again, original to the house, 25 years old, running fine, getting a good temperature split on the inside. But I will have in there to budget for repairs or replacement because it won't last indefinitely. These typically last the longest. 20 to 25 years is what manufacturers say the typical service lifespan, but they tend to last longer than water heaters, air conditioners, and those items. Now, with this, the venting system here, it should vent. This should run at least 1/4 of an inch per foot up to where it comes out. Right now, it comes up and then it loops back down and then goes back up. So that's something that we recommend having corrected. You'd have to, more than likely it would be one of the rigid ducts here where it just branches off from here and goes diagonally up there.
I see.
But that's something I recommend having corrected. I'm not seeing problems with it now, but there is always a potential for a backdraft of combustion byproducts from this coming back in CO, carbon monoxide, that sort of thing. So that recommended upgrade, and then the water heater over here. And this one's appears to be original to the house. There's no data plate on it that I can see with the serial number on it, but just based on the looks, it'd be original to the house. And it's still running fine. You know, I'm not really seeing any rust on the outside of it, but I'll have in there to budget for repairs or replacement because it won't last indefinitely. It'll also have recommended upgrades. It could use a drip pan underneath, could use a drip leg off the gas line, and it could use an expansion tank off the cold water line. Those are all items that weren't necessarily a requirement when this was put in, so they're recommended upgrades.
Got it.
Close this door and lock it. So that's it. And here we go inside. So in the kitchen, actually we'll do the laundry so we can forget about it.
Yeah, we want to know if it was electric or gas.
So just electric back there
Got it.
that I saw. But everything else in here looked good. Ceiling fans working. And then kitchen. Dishwasher's working, garbage disposal's working, range works, microwave works. Let's see, the range could use, oh, watch out. The range could use an anti-tip cleat.
Anti-tip.
So it's a little metal L bracket that screws into the base of the wall, and then you slide the range over the top of it, and it'll stop the range from tipping forward. So if you had young kids running around a lot, they like to climb on things, and that's usually who we recommend it for. But also if you have Thanksgiving dinner and the turkey and you set it on the door, which you shouldn't do anyways, but if it's really heavy and tips forward, then kind of ruins the party. Yeah. So they're really cheap, the L brackets, and it's just a matter of screwing it into the
Home
wall.
Depot.
Exactly. The dishwasher currently just drains to the garbage disposal. There's no air gap here, which would be a challenge at this point because you would have to drill through the actual countertop to put one in. But they're the little metal silver, they look like R2-D2, the Star Wars character. And what they do is they provide an air gap, so if there's ever a clog in the plumbing, water will discharge out of that instead of dirty water going back into the dishwasher. So it's a recommended upgrade. It's not an emergency, but it is something that we do recommend upgrading to. And then under the kitchen sink, there is a leak, slight leak back here. You can see where it's been dripping down there, and you can see the drop of water just on the underside of that section of plumbing there.